you so much for coming out. I really don't know what to say, because back when they gave me this show, my only goal was to last longer than Jimmy Kimmel. Stop it. What a rough week for that guy. First, ABC suspends the show, and then to make matters worse, Tom Homan just deported his sidekick, Guillermo. But welcome to Fox News Saturday night. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. That's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. Yo, it is ladies' night on the show. Check it out. We got Emily Compagno, Tommy Lahren, and Katrina Campins in the house tonight. How about it? Bam. Bam. Brian Kilmeade also here, and while he is not a woman, okay, that's fine, because neither are any of the hookers in Times Square. I mean, just a friendly reminder to any out-of-towners in the audience, okay? You're down in, like, Miami, and a hooker approaches you. She's like, hey, baby, you want to go on a date? But in Times Square, it's like, do you like surprises? Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel got quite the surprise on Wednesday when ABC pulled the plug on his show. And I have to say, everybody in the world seems shocked by this except Gavin Newsom, because he's used to seeing businesses leave California. He's like, another day, another U-Haul, you know? But I'm not here to celebrate some guy getting fired out in Los Angeles. Like, for real, my only connection to that city is that I totally look like the coach of the Rams if he let himself go. Take a look. Like, one day I was watching football and I was like, I really do look like the behind-the-music version of Sean McVay. Like, I could play him in that sequence of his life story where he bottoms out and becomes a junkie, or does something even more embarrassing like coaches the Jets, you know? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You can't defend the Jets. The Jets are so bad, if you get there early, you can play. Like, they don't even care. They don't even care. But back to the other Jimmy, because I really am. I'm so blown away by all of this. So let me start here. Jimmy Kimmel got in trouble for claiming that Charlie Kirk's shooter was MAGA. And a lot of people were shocked he got that one wrong. But I wasn't surprised, because this is the same Jimmy Kimmel who once thought he was a black guy. And that's where I start, okay? Because that's Kimmel pretending to be Karl Malone. And it really is crazy to think this guy somehow survived wearing blackface on national TV and didn't know when to shut the up. Dude, you got away with wearing blackface. All you had to do was shut up and be cool, you know? But Jimmy Kimmel couldn't put politics aside when it came to Charlie Kirk. And that's the part that did shock me. I mean, as a comedian, Jimmy Kimmel should have loved Charlie Kirk, because he's the one guy we can all shake hands with whose initials are CK. Stop it, Jimmy. Louis C.K. got in trouble for celebrating Palm Sunday in the green room. And he is a great comic, but his live act is like SeaWorld, because they make you wear a poncho in the front row. It's crazy. Stop it. Stick. There it is. Whoa. Do I have a couple of his opening acts here? Why are you guys... Now, a lot of people are trying to make this a free speech thing and claiming the government is at fault, so I just want to play the government's response to that angle.
We saw the dismissal of a very well-known chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel. Is free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago.
Yo. You know how they say if you ever want to know what you look like, have someone set you up on a blind date? Because whoever shows up, that's how hot you are to other people, you know? If you ever want to know what people think of you, ask Donald Trump. That dude does not hold back. Even when it comes to someone getting yanked off the air, he is not holding back. And of course, no conversation about getting yanked off would be complete without this guy. And yeah, Jeffrey Tubin says the firing had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk and everything to do with Donald Trump. I tell Tubin to get a grip, but I'm pretty sure he already has one, you know. Here is Tubin. Here, watch this.
It was not about the murder.
Yeah.
It was about he was criticizing, he was mocking the president and the president's political movement, MAGA. So what we have here is the administration cracking down on someone for criticizing them, which is much worse than the government cracking down for some sort of offensive conduct relating to good taste.
And let's face it, if anybody knows about offensive conduct related to good taste, it's a guy who watched Naughty Nurses 9 in front of his coworkers. Yeah, they put the hoe in HMO, you know. But seriously, Tubin, nobody wants etiquette tips from a guy who got caught spanking the monkey on a Zoom, you know? I'm just saying. Like, how do people keep talking? And everybody's shocked that Tubin got his job back. But the truth is, CNN's actually pretty broke right now, so it helps to have a legal analyst who gets paid in hand cream. And, stupid. But that's the larger problem right now for some liberals, for real. Politics have gotten so emotional for them that they're losing their self-awareness. They don't realize how crazy they sound. Like, if we're being honest, Kimmel didn't even have the most insane take of the week over at ABC. Did you see that reporter who said that the text messages between Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter and his trans lover were touching? Did you see that? Like, dude. Someone tell ABC, nobody wants to watch a trans rom-com called When Harry Became Sally, you know? And we definitely don't want to see an Annie Hall remake called Annie's Balls, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. But stick with me. But stick with me. The ABC guy seriously said the texts were touching. Watch this.
I don't know if we have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love.
Sheesh, right? Seriously. Zip it up when you're done, buddy. God. Now, in this guy's defense, he did apologize after his comments went viral for all the wrong reasons. But for anybody still confused, there is nothing touching about a murderer's text message. Touching is a phrase that's reserved for very specific moments you'll never forget. Like the first time your child tells you they love you, touching. Or you'll also hear a lot about touching if you're a female staffer for this guy. Good old handsy Andy Cuomo. There he is. Which, by the way, I'm not even making this up, okay? Woody Allen actually endorsed Andrew Cuomo this week. That's real. Don't take it lightly. Woody Allen's pretty good at chasing the youth vote. You know what I mean? And he'll need it because Cuomo killed off all his elderly voters during COVID. You know what I mean? That one was for you, Janice Dean. But here is Woody Allen.
I'm going to vote for Cuomo because I feel Ma'am Danny is perfectly nice.
You do?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I mean, his heart's in the right place. He wants nice things, but I think Cuomo will do a much better job.
No, yeah, right. Some analysts, right, say this is actually going to hurt Cuomo's chances, which wouldn't be the first time Cuomo got in trouble for having a Woody. Stop it. Of course, the guy who won the biggest election of them all is Donald Trump, and he had a hell of a week that started with him blowing up another drug boat in the ocean. Here it is. Boom! Boom! Bam! What's amazing is if you look closely at the boat, you can actually see the box that contains the Epstein files. Right on it. Just bam! There they went. Gone. By the way, I was telling Jesse Waters on his show the other night that we are going through such a major about-face in this country right now. Think about it. The last president had a crackhead son sitting in cabinet meetings. This president is blowing up all the crack dealers, you know? Seriously, it's crazy. But every time a drug boat sets sail to America, Trump celebrates Cinco de Mayo. Of course, the president made his biggest headlines of the week over in the UK, where he met with every member of the royal family except Prince Andrew, who was taking his girlfriend to the prom. And come on, that is not true. They don't have proms in middle school. Stop it. Stop it, Jimmy. Now you're just piling on. Come on. But there was some actual drama to this visit because on the way over there, a Spirit Airlines flight got too close to Air Force One, and the air traffic controllers had to yell at the pilot to pay attention. That's real. And I mean in the pilot's defense, knowing Spirit, he was probably breaking up a fist fight. You know what I mean? But here is the exchange. Watch this.
Spirit Wings 1300, turn 20 degrees right immediately. Pay attention. Spirit 1300, traffic's off your left wing by 8 miles, 747. I'm sure you can see who it is. I'll keep an eye out for him. He's white and blue. I got to talk to you twice every time. Spirit 1300, Boston 134.0. Pay attention. Get off the iPad.
Yo! Literally told an airline pilot to pay attention, get off the iPad. Now, listen, Spirit denies the pilot was on an iPad. I actually believed them when I saw the picture of the pilot. Stop it. Stevie Wonder was not flying the plane, Jimmy. But once Air Force One landed, they absolutely did roll out the red carpet for our president. Watch this display. Now, to be clear, okay, that flyover at the end was a salute. This was not like the time Trump had the bomber fly over Putin to scare the out of him. If you haven't seen that, well, let's watch that. I love that. Watch that. Watch. Yo. I haven't seen Putin that worried since Kamala said she was going to quit drinking Russian vodka. It will devastate the economy, you know. But stick with me, because Piers Morgan really gave you a feel for just how big the salute to Trump really was. Here he is talking about it.
It's a statement of the royal family. We're going to roll out the ultimate red carpet. And again, just to stress, I've not seen this done for any other world leader. This is unprecedented.
Now, to be clear, though, the salute came before Trump told them he was renaming the River Thames as the River Trump. Okay. And he hadn't yet announced that Big Ben was now called Huge Ben, okay? This is before that, so they didn't know. But make no mistake about this, okay? The Brits and Piers Morgan specifically do not roll out the red carpet for every American they see. Watch.
I think you're being a complete if I'm honest with you.
He just told Don Lemon he's being a complete So Pierce's take is that Don Lemon didn't know how to act in their one-on-one interview, which is actually shocking because Don Lemon spent every night at CNN broadcasting to one person. You know what I mean? think this would be old hat by now. But shout out to Pierce, who's great on this show, and I will be on his show Monday. So there's that. Me and Pierce getting the band back together. Thank you. Thank you. But it was not just the president who made international headlines. Check out First Lady Melania Trump doing a joint event with Kate Middleton. Look at these two just walking around. And, of course, millions of people around the world are blown away by just the grace and the sheer elegance of these two women. But what I like the most about the video is if you listen closely, you can actually hear Meghan Markle shooting her TV in the background. That should have been me, Harry! But seriously, when you listen to Kate Middleton, she has so much polish and class. Like, you immediately get that she is actual royalty. Like, Meghan Markle's only shot at wearing the crown as if she celebrates a birthday at Burger King, you know? But even President Trump was wowed by Kate Middleton. Trump reportedly told her she was, quote, so beautiful, which explains why Melania said, quote, I might have to cut a which is not true. Which is not true, but the Trumps had a tour de force on the world stage this week, and in doing so, he made history as the first president to get 2 visits to the British monarchy, which is a true story. No other president has had 2 visits. Biden almost didn't go the first time because when the Queen sent an invitation, he said he didn't like Freddie Mercury. He was like... He's like, we won the war. Why are they the champions? I don't get it. I don't get it. And let's face it, Joe doesn't want to ride his bicycle. Let's be honest. We've seen that video. But back here in America, the Trumps had a crazy story down at Mar-a-Lago where a woman was arrested for trying to break into the president's home. And she told the Secret Service she was married to Trump. That's what she told them. Now, it's very subtle. But see if you can spot the difference between her and Melania. Take a look. It's 49-year-old Christine Renee Krimble. She says her and Trump tied the knot a week ago, and apparently this is not the first time she showed up to Mar-a-Lago demanding to see her husband. Luckily, the Secret Service is used to this sort of thing because of that crazy guy who keeps showing up claiming to be married to Melania. There we are, a supermodel and an Ozempic model right there. I'm obviously kidding. She's not an Ozempic. Stop it. As for the president's pretend wife, the bad news is cops say she is unemployed. The good news is ABC's hiring a late night host. So there you go. There you go. All right, that was obviously a cheap shot at Jimmy Kimmel, but I am happy to report there was even some good news for him right before we came on the air. Apparently, President Trump feels bad that Kimmel's out of work, so he just offered him a job as a ship captain. There it is!
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.